Simon already did that. But I also went on the spring break trip, and you can also like come up and share if you didn't go on the spring break trip, because we're gonna hear enough about spring break. But so I went into this week really trying. My goal was to like gain humility, I guess. I struggle with pride, and I was like, I've never used a hammer and nails in my life, so like this seems like a good way to humble myself, because I'm going on this trip where the goal is to build houses for these people. But then I got there on the first day, and we usually only have, or usually I guess the ratio is more like 2 foremen to like 5 people, or like even less people than that, but we had 1 foreman to 10 people. So it essentially was like, do you know how to do stuff? No? Go dig a hole. And the people who know how to do stuff will go do stuff, and you go dig a hole. And I was like, okay, that's good. And then after we were done digging our holes, they were like, okay, now fill them with concrete. And then everyone else that knows how to do stuff, go do stuff. And so through this, I was like, okay, like this is fine. There's not like a ton to do sometimes, and that's okay. And so I'm just standing there, and then the next day, like there's just nothing to do because there's no more holes to dig. And they're all filled with concrete. And I don't know how to do anything else. So I was like, well, I guess I'm going to just stand around a little bit. And if someone wants to teach me how to do something, like try to insert myself. But like, honestly, like I thought I was going to go, and I did learn how to do things eventually. I used a nail gun. That was cool. But I thought that the humility I was going to gain was going to be from like having to learn a bunch of things that I've never done before, which I did do, and it was awesome. But the humility I gained was learning that it doesn't have to be me doing the things for it to count. Like the work that needed to be done still got done. There were just too many of us to like, for all of us to be doing it, and that's okay. And so like taking that into other parts of our lives, like looking at the big picture of like, God's will does not have to be done specifically through you for it to be done. Sometimes you're the person standing on the side encouraging or being the morale booster or like dancing when everyone else is using the nail gun because there's not enough for you. Like you don't have to be the person who's doing the important work for the important work to be done. God needs people to be peacemakers, he needs people to be encouragers, and he needs people to give mercy and grace and to have deep faith. And that doesn't mean that you're going to be the one doing the cool things. But that's what I learned over spring break.